I invite you to listen to my story. Step into my mind and see what I saw, feel what I felt. 12-year-old girl, black and beautiful, my braids billowing behind me in a halo. Middle school classroom, first day of school, palms sweating, knees shaking, looking out into a sea of white. I am the dark outlier, the uneven number, a splotch of paint against the blank canvas, daring to disturb the universe. Pivot to my right, 12-year-old boy, young and white, his face pale and smiling. The boy looks at me. Are you wearing a wig? This full 180 has left me stumbling, limbs flailing, blindly reaching for something to hold on to. Balance regained, I respond. No. He prompts me again. But isn't it fake hair? My face turns hot. The little eyes of my classmates start nervously back and forth, watching this exchange in open fascination. Hair history spews out like new growth, curls organize into neat rows, follicles rearranging themselves. But I leave out my truth. I leave out hours spent bent over in a metal chair, trips back and forth to the boutique to painstakingly pick out my new extensions. Hot comb kisses burning my scalp, globs of product to halt the relentless itching. My mother wrapping my head in Technicolor silk every night, and if someone asked me to bottle those memories, the effect would be a sweet perfume smelling of burnt hair and homemade meals. He is adamant, pushing, prodding, searching the depths of his mind to find something alike to his hair, to his skin, to his life. He finds nothing, and everything shifts. My body shifts in another direction, face shifts into a plane of hurt and confusion, and our worlds shift. Like planets rotating on uneven axes, we orbit away from one another. Eventually, I switch table groups. Middle school ends. I transfer to a different high school, and we never see each other again. A line is drawn in the sand, and neither dares to cross, and neither dares to ask, what if? What if there was a different way? This poem portrays an experience that we can all resonate with. A moment when you're thrust into a new environment and you have a negative interaction that you're forced to grapple with. The root of this interaction is a lack of tolerance and acceptance, which is cultivated by ignorance and unawareness. The boy and the girl were never exposed to different cultures, or just never bothered to. The best way to be exposed to different cultures is by interacting with others. When we take the time to really listen to and understand others' experiences, we learn various ideas and lifestyles. Take my family as an example. All my relatives live in Uganda, which is all the way on the other side of the world. Despite our physical and cultural distance, we still manage to trade stories, poke fun at each other, silently judge each other a little bit. Our lives are quite different, and our values contrast in many ways, but we still manage to connect. This is because we've carved out this time to better know each other. We've created this safe space to ask questions and offer opinions without judgment. We've made expanding our culture and our knowledge a priority. However, not everyone is as fortunate. Most of us don't have foreign families to learn about and integrate into our lives. Most of us are never given the chance to have different experiences and meet new people. We just stay in our own little bubbles, hidden away from anyone different. But we must find a way. Looking at my generation, a generation of future students, leaders, artists, politicians, we need to learn acceptance, respect. We need to learn how to work with those from other walks of life, no matter who they are. We need to learn how to collaborate with those outside our circles, no matter who they are. We must train ourselves to find the humanity inside each and every one of us instead of instantly spotting our separations. So how do we do that? How do we bridge the cultural divide? How do we ensure that a 12-year-old black girl and a 12-year-old white boy can comfortably learn from one another? First and foremost, we can utilize our vast school systems as a crucible for change. Within these systems and through student-led learning, we, the youth, have an untapped potential to be the agents of change. So what if schools create a program where they partner with each other based on student preference so that learners from different backgrounds can effectively learn and interact with each other? In this type of course, student-led learning would bridge the gap through activities like joint tours, debates, seminars, sharing ethnic foods, experiential learning, self-reflection, and more. Student-led learning must be formally integrated into the curriculum in order to have a lasting impact. Look at two communities that I'm personally familiar with. Silicon Valley on the West Coast is home to a large population of immigrants, while Baltimore, here on the East Coast, is largely African American. Schools from each of these communities would partner with each other based on student preference. Students would design lesson plans detailing what cultural aspects of their lives they want to share. Students would have frequent meetings and share lesson plans that they created. And during these meetings, students would be empowered to act as teachers and learners. Institutions with extensive resources could take international trips and immerse themselves in their partner school's culture. Ideally, this program would last throughout grade school so that students get the opportunity to evolve and expand their cultural knowledge and empathy. Cultural connection is not a choice. It's an obligation in which everyone must play their part. We need to find the common thread inside each and every one of us. We must create a world where a 12-year-old black girl and a 12-year-old white boy can appreciate each other's unique backgrounds. So let's go back to that poem and answer the question. What if? What if there was a different way? What if younger me and my classmate had this program in place and it changed our lives? I step into the classroom, we're seated together. He makes the comment, and I'm left worse for wear. 1 week later, collaborative cultural study class where we will dive into the waters of someone else's life and break the surface of ignorance. Soon enough, we're having weekly visits with the school down the street, designing lesson plans, sharing traditions and knowledge, accessing a piece of our combined minds we weren't even aware existed. A piece where community lies cradled and empathy covered hands. The boy learns about hair braiding. He learns how the locks stretch across the ocean like vines reattaching to their roots. He learns the history that is carried from hair to hands and back again. He finds stories hidden behind the walls of hair care shops and pressed between flat irons. He opens his eyes. Eventually, he apologizes, and we become friends, leaders in cultural study. We never have to wonder, what if? And we never have to go back to what was. Thank you.